What are the biggest things about the Super Bowl or prop bets? There are many different type of prop bets. People talk about the national anthem. People talk about who will score first type of penalty. So we here at Sports Night are going to take you through that and try and help you win some money in your prop bet pool. So the first question we have is the national anthem, which will be sung by Luke Bryan. So the question is, will it be over or under 2 minutes? So now, I've looked at this. I've looked at the last couple Super Bowls. You've had Lady Gaga's, Idina Menzel, Renee Fleming's, Alicia Keys, Kelly Clarkson, and almost all of them were a little bit over 2 minutes. You had Lady Gaga, 2:09, Idina Menzel, 2:04. The one outlier was Alicia Keys at 2:40. That was a long one. But if you go further back, Christina Aguilera and Kelly Clarkson, they were both under 2 minutes. So 2 minutes is a good prop bet for there. We're not really sure, but I think Luke Bryan, he's going to go over. If you look at the way it's gone over the past couple of years, it's been over. It gets longer and longer. So for you guys out there, take over on that national anthem.
I'll challenge you here. Luke Bryan, country singer, he's going to want to keep the tempo up. He might be under.
But if you look at the numbers over the years, but it's going to be a close one.
All right, and speaking of performers, Lady Gaga will be the halftime performer for Super Bowl 51. And the next question for prop bettors is, what color will Lady Gaga's hair be?
That's going to be a tough one because she has so many different hairstyles.
Right. So when we saw her sing the national anthem last year, she came out in the classic blonde yellow hair. And I'm going to go with chalk and say that's what she's going to.
Okay, we're going to go back to blonde.
We're almost in March Madness season.
Yep.
She's going to wear the blonde yellow hair. Now, an interesting twist, what if she wears a wig during her show? She could wear multiple hair colors during the show. Yeah. I'd bet on blonde yellow hair.
Not bad. I mean, going safe there. I mean, we'll see if she even ends up on the roof. I mean, who knows? That's where she wants to be performing. But now our next question is, what will be the color of the Gatorade poured on the winning coach? This question has been a big one for years. And if you look at it over the years, 5 of the last 10 years, it has been orange. But there have been a couple outliers with clear and yellow. But if you want the safe bet, you're going to go with orange. The New England Patriots over the years, they've actually been clear though. So who knows? If you look at the general consensus over the years, it's been orange, yellow, really no red, no blue. I know those are the most popular Gatorades that people and consumers like. But for the ones that the players are dumping, I'm going to go with orange, but it's up to you guys. We'll see.
Bill Belichick, boring guy, no Gatorade.
It could be no Gatorade. That has happened for the Patriots twice, actually. So
it's a foregone conclusion.
You could get no Gatorade and surprise everyone at your prop bet pool.
All right. I've been doing my Lady Gaga research because our next prop bet is, which song will Lady Gaga play first? And I had this one last year on Sports Night with Coldplay. I thought they would come out, Adventure of a Lifetime as one of their hit songs. Yep. Got that one wrong.
Yeah.
I need redemption here.
I
think Lady Gaga is going to throw it back. Poker Face is her go-to. She's going to get everyone. We're going to be bumping to Poker Face. Yeah. She'll mix in Bad Romance, which was another classic, but Poker Face is how we're going to start out the Super Bowl halftime show.
Definitely a solid one. But now, going from the first song Lady Gaga will play to the first type of commercial. This is an interesting one. But actually, it's not really. It's going to be beer. If you look at all the recent Super Bowl commercials, 4 of the last 5 years, it has been a beer commercial. Michelob Ultra did it. Bud White, up for whatever, as you're seeing now. Budweiser's Black Crown Coronation. Bud Light Factory. It has almost always been a beer commercial. It's actually the most type of any commercial they show. Budweiser leads the way of any type of commercial. So if you want a safe bet, 4 of the last 5 years, it's been beer, so go with beer.
And we here at Sports Night remind you to drink responsibly.
And there we go.
All right.
But now it's time for the coin toss, going from something that seems kind of obvious to me with the beer to something you can kind of say, it's a coin toss? I mean, if you look at the last couple coin tosses, the last 50 actually, it's been 26 tails to 24 heads. But there's actually been an interesting trend of tails versus heads over the years. The last 3 coin tosses, they've been tails. The ones before that, the first 5 after that, they were heads. And the one before that was tails, and the one before that was heads. I mean, it's pretty much gone back and forth, but it's actually been a trend in the last 8 years. So if you're hoping it continues on that trend, if it was 5 heads before, 3 tails, now it's going to continue that trail of tails. But you could happen where Aaron Rodgers in Arizona, where the coin actually didn't flip and they had to do it again. So if you want to really impress people, you can do that. I doubt it'll happen again. You could do where Joe Namath flipped it and before anyone even called it. So, but my bet, I'm going with tails.
I don't want to linger on this for too long, but I'm a tails never fails kind
There we
of guy.
go.
All right, the next one. What will the first type of penalty be? And this one's kind of interesting. If you look at the past couple years, we've had Josh Norman, defensive holding to start off the Super Bowl against the Broncos. Running into the kicker was the penalty in Seattle. So stuff that you wouldn't typically expect. We had an illegal motion against Peyton Manning. So I think it's time to go to a classic penalty. I'm predicting offensive holding. Matt Ryan drops back into the pocket. Michigan's Alan Branch rushing up the middle from the D tackle position. The Falcons' offensive line grabs a hold of Alan Branch. Offensive holding, first penalty of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one. I mean, if you look at the last couple of Super Bowls, they all happened on the first possession, but they were by the defensive team. So, I mean, if you're going to bet that one team's pick with the ball gets to start with the ball, maybe you want to pick with the defensive team that commits that penalty. So that'll be an interesting. But now we're going to go with the first type of score, and what will it be? This is an interesting one. If you look at the last 10 years, we've had 4 field goals, 4 touchdowns, and actually 2 safeties. And what stands out about that is in those last 5 years, 2 of them were safeties. We had a safety in 2014 with the Seattle beat with Denver and Peyton Manning going over his head. We also had a safety with Tom Brady with the intentional grounding. So it's interesting. Are you looking at the recent trend of safeties, or if you want the safe bet, I say go with the field goal. That happens pretty recently, but it actually hasn't happened in years past. So you're due for a field goal, but that's going to be an interesting one because that's been up and down over the years.
A defensive stand.
Yep.
All right, so next we have Super Bowl MVP, and I might be going a little off the board here. I'm not going to lie. My pick for Super Bowl MVP is Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones. We mentioned it in the beginning. He's been hauling in touchdown receptions every game he's played. He was a little bit unhealthy during the year, but now they've got him ready to go, firing on all cylinders. Matt Ryan, Philly guy, great quarterback, finds Julio Jones, and Julio Jones has so many skills. He's fast, he's strong, he's got great hands, everything you want in your receiver. No drama. Odell, that's for you.
Yeah.
So Julio Jones is my guy, and I think he's going to have to step it up if he wants his team to win the game.
That's definitely an interesting one because if you look at the most MVPs, that's definitely quarterback. There have been 27 quarterbacks. Second, running backs, and then third, wide receivers.
Right.
There have been 6. So, I mean, that's an interesting one. I mean, if you look at most recently, you had Von Miller, Tom Brady, Malcolm Smith. You haven't had a wide receiver in a while since Hines Ward and Deion Branch in 2006 and 2005.
I think we're due for a wide receiver.
So you could be due for one. You had Santonio Holmes in 2009. So quarterback is the safe bet, but if you want to kind of go against the trends, then definitely go wide receiver.
Right.
But now for our final one, what will the final score be? This is going to be an interesting one. I mean, the scores have been up and down over the last couple years. If you take a look at our graphic that we have, it's pretty interesting. You had Denver just beat Carolina last year, and then you had a really close game between New England and Seattle. You had a blowout a couple years back with Seattle and Denver, but that's really the only blowout that you've had in the last 10 years. So I think it's going to be a close game. I mean, you got the Pats' great defense and offense versus the explosive Atlanta offense. But I'm going to go for 31-28 Patriots. I think they're going to get the win. It's going to be a close game, though. I think they're going to take an early lead. The Falcons are going to try and come back, but ultimately that Patriots defense is going to stop them.
That's interesting. I'm right there with you on the score. We're going to see enough points to see some good offense, probably have an offensive player as the MVP, but there's going to be some defense to get the big stops down the stretch. I have Atlanta in an upset, 31-27 against the Patriots.
Very interesting. So those are your Super Bowl prop bets. Hopefully we win you some money. You can impress some family, some friends. So hopefully we helped you out right there.